Chris Hemsworth sat comfortably on the plush couch, his charismatic smile lighting up the studio. The live broadcast was going smoothly, with the host and audience engaged in a lively conversation. Suddenly, the host leaned in, his eyes gleaming with a mix of curiosity and mischief. "Host, Chris, there's a rumor circulating that before you married Elsa Pataky, you both signed an unusual conditional marriage contract. It said that the contract includes a clause stating that if one of you overshadows the other, the marriage will be reevaluated. Is this true?" The studio fell silent. Chris's smile froze, and the atmosphere shifted palpably. The host hinted at having some documents, and everyone waited for Chris's response. He took a deep breath, his mind racing back to the day they signed that contract. Chris Hemsworth. This was something no one knew, but yes. Elsa and I didn't want the pressure of fame and success to destroy us. So, before getting married, we made a written agreement. If one of us overshadowed the other, we promised to reevaluate our relationship, because we aimed to be equals. But then, we burned the contract, because love won. The host, the audience, even the cameraman were shocked. This revelation went viral the moment it hit the internet. Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, every platform was buzzing with the hashtag Chris Hemsworth marriage clause. Some people were saddened by the couple's cold start, while others admired their honesty. However, discussions began about the possibility of secret documents and emails being leaked. When Chris Hemsworth and Elsa Pataky first met, both were striving to reach the pinnacle of their careers. Chris had achieved global fame as Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, while Elsa was a rising star in Spanish cinema. Their union brought with it the challenges of celebrity life. One day, Chris and Elsa were sitting on the terrace of their Malibu home, the calm waves of the ocean accompanying their thoughts. Elsa turned to Chris and said, "To ensure our relationship succeeds, we need to set some rules regarding fame. Otherwise, this world could destroy us." Chris pondered Elsa's words and had an idea. "Let's make an agreement," he said. "If one of us overshadows the other, we'll reevaluate our relationship. That way, we can be fair to each other." Elsa agreed, and together they drafted a contract with their lawyers. This contract was meant to safeguard their relationship. Over time, however, Chris and Elsa realized that their love was stronger than any contract. The agreement became a symbol of their commitment and respect for each other. Chris and Elsa were living happily with their 3 children. Chris's success in Marvel films had made him a global icon, while Elsa continued her career and balanced family life. However, the pressure of fame was always lurking. One day, Chris came across an article on a news site that discussed their marriage contract. The article claimed that documents proving the contract's existence had been leaked. Chris immediately called Elsa. "Elsa, something's wrong," Chris said. "There's an article about our contract. Our documents might have been leaked." Elsa was shocked. How could this happen? Only our lawyers knew about those documents. Chris and Elsa quickly consulted their lawyers, who suggested that the leak could be an inside job. The couple decided to get to the bottom of it. Chris and Elsa hired a detective to find out who had leaked the documents. After a thorough investigation, the detective discovered that a former employee of their law firm had sold the documents to a news site. Chris and Elsa decided to go public with the truth. They held a press conference and revealed everything. Chris took the microphone and said, "Our marriage contract was a symbol of our respect for each other. But we burned it because our love was stronger than any contract. Today, we found the person who leaked our documents and have turned them over to the authorities." Elsa stepped forward and added, "Our relationship has withstood the pressure of fame and success because our love and respect for each other are more important than anything else." After the press conference, Chris and Elsa's honesty and courage were praised by the public. People saw their story as a true love tale. One morning, Chris woke up to find a message from an unknown number on his phone. The message read, "Want to learn more about your contract? An old friend is waiting for you." The message ended with an address. Chris showed the message to Elsa. She looked concerned and said, "Who could have sent this? And why are they waiting for us?" Chris replied, "We need to find out. If there's a threat, we need to address it." The couple went to the address, which led them to an old factory building on the outskirts of the city. Inside, they found a dark room with an envelope on a table. Opening the envelope, they found a letter. The letter read, "Want to know the true purpose of your contract? Then come to this address." It contained a new address. Chris and Elsa went to the new address, which turned out to be a library. Inside, they found a book on a table with a note. Look at page 47. On page 47, they found an encrypted message. Decoding it, they read, "Your contract was not just about respecting each other. It was also about being part of a secret society. This society was formed to protect the lives of celebrities. For more information, come to this address." This time, the address led them to a penthouse in a luxury hotel. Inside, they found several people sitting around a table. These individuals had formed a secret society to protect celebrities. The society's leader told Chris and Elsa, "Your contract was not just about respecting each other. It was also about becoming part of this society. We work to protect the lives of celebrities. You can join us." Chris and Elsa decided to become part of the secret society. The society undertook various missions to protect celebrities. Chris and Elsa took on some of these missions. In one mission, they uncovered a plot to assassinate a famous singer. They devised a plan to protect the singer and foiled the assassination attempt. In another mission, they stopped a journalist from exposing a scandalous secret about a famous actor. The journalist was about to publish a story that could ruin the actor's life. Chris and Elsa convinced the journalist not to publish the story. Chris and Elsa faced many tough decisions as part of the secret society. In one mission, they received a threat against a famous author who had criticized powerful individuals in a book. These individuals wanted to silence the author. Chris and Elsa devised a plan to protect the author. However, executing the plan required them to put their own lives at risk. In the end, they saved the author but were injured in the process. After this incident, Chris and Elsa considered leaving the secret society. However, the society's leader told them, "Your efforts have saved many lives. Being part of this society is an honor." Chris and Elsa continued their work with the secret society, but they began to notice strange occurrences. Documents went missing, and missions seemed to be compromised. They started to suspect that there was a mole within the society. One evening, Chris received an encrypted message on his phone. It read, "Meet me at the old warehouse. Come alone." Chris decided to go, but not before informing Elsa at the warehouse. Chris found a shadowy figure waiting for him. The figure stepped into the light, revealing himself to be an old acquaintance from their early days in Hollywood. "Why are you doing this?" Chris asked, his voice steady but firm. The acquaintance sneered. "You and Elsa have everything. Fame, fortune, love. I wanted to take it all away from you. I was the one who leaked your contract, and I've been sabotaging the society's missions." Chris was shocked, but quickly regained his composure. "You won't get away with this," he said, pulling out his phone to record the conversation. Elsa, who had been listening from a hidden spot, stepped out and confronted the acquaintance. "You've caused enough trouble," she said, her voice cold. "It's time to end this." The acquaintance lunged at Elsa, but Chris intervened, tackling him to the ground. A fierce struggle ensued, but Chris and Elsa managed to overpower him. They tied him up and called the society's leader. The leader arrived with a team and took the acquaintance into custody. "You've done well," the leader said to Chris and Elsa. "Your actions have saved the society from further harm." With the mole captured, Chris and Elsa thought their troubles were over. However, the society's leader revealed a deeper secret. "There's something you need to know," the leader said. "Our society has been protecting a powerful artifact that can control the minds of people. It's been kept hidden for centuries, but recent events suggest that someone is trying to find it." Chris and Elsa were stunned. "What do you need us to do?" Chris asked. The leader handed them a map. "This map leads to the artifact's hiding place. We need you to retrieve it before it falls into the wrong hands." Chris and Elsa studied the map and realized that the artifact was hidden in a remote location in the Himalayas. They prepared for the journey, gathering supplies and equipment. The journey was treacherous, with harsh weather and dangerous terrain. But Chris and Elsa were determined. They climbed steep mountains, crossed icy rivers, and navigated through dense forests. Finally, they reached the hiding place, an ancient temple hidden deep within a cave. Inside, they found the artifact, a glowing orb that pulsed with energy. As Chris and Elsa reached for the artifact, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was an ancient guardian, tasked with protecting the artifact. The guardian challenged them to a battle of wits and strength. Chris and Elsa fought valiantly, using their skills and intelligence to outmaneuver the guardian. In the end, they emerged victorious and claimed the artifact. With the artifact in their possession, they returned to the society's leader, who praised their bravery and resourcefulness. "You've done more than anyone could have asked," the leader said. "The artifact is now safe, and the society owes you a great debt." With the artifact safe and the enemy defeated, Chris and Elsa returned to their normal lives. They continued to work with the secret society, but they also focused on their family and careers. One day, as they sat in their garden watching their kids play, Chris turned to Elsa and said, "Our story has inspired many people. Despite the pressure of fame and success, we've stayed true to each other and kept our love alive." Elsa smiled and held Chris's hand tightly. "Yes, our story is a love story, and it's been written not just by how we started, but by how we've continued." Chris and Elsa smiled at each other, knowing that their love story, which began in the shadow of fame, continued to shine brightly. And they knew it would inspire many more people in the future.